All right, welcome to the Create and Invent podcast where we discuss all kinds of creative things. And today we have somebody extremely creative that makes all kinds of awesome stuff. Our friend and former co-host, co-host, that's right, former co-host, Max Maker. So how are you doing, Max? How are you doing, Max?
Good.
Makes.
I'm doing very well.
Makes Maxer.
Good to be back.
That could be your second channel, Makes Maxer.
Yeah, well, it's
Your
already
evil
max,
twin.
so maybe medium or something like lower than max.
Medium
Or
put together.
minimum
Medium maker.
Medium.
Yeah. So Max, lots of our listeners will be familiar with you, of course.
But what if they're not, Jeremy?
Oh well, yeah. Okay. So Max Maker. First of all, he's how would you describe yourself, Max?
I'm an engineer that makes stuff. That's what it says on my Instagram. But on Tinder, it said something different.
Okay.
It looks like Max is about 5'13". He is wearing a pair of glasses just like me, except a different style. We both have cool headphones.
Yeah.
Those look like Bose headphones, Max.
They are. Have we got the same model?
We do.
Yes.
I have one. Mine are the previous version. The previous
yours
one. I'm not
in.
up to date.
And now, Max, from your accent, I can't quite place it, but maybe you're from maybe American Samoa, maybe I don't know. It's
from Germany.
Oh, from Germany. Okay, northern Germany. Actually, it's northern Germany, right? Is that
it's
correct?
northern Germany? Yeah.
Okay, nice. Rather than the
now,
Southerners.
I don't really know the geography. I don't know how you guys divide up. Like, do you divide Germany right down the middle, and there's a north and a south, or is it is there a middle Germany and there's a north?
Well, historically, there was a East Germany and a West Germany. Because I'm not joking here, because they were separated for such a long time, there is a cultural divide. But you have that without a divide in America, with California and then the Midwest. And then,
Max, would you believe we were talking about East and West Germany a few weeks ago here at my house?
Why?
My friend Yulia, who grew up in Germany, she was telling me that when the wall came down, after that, her memory of that is the cars that drove across the border. There were all these cars, the same car, and
it's called the Trabant. They had one manufacturer in East Germany, and everybody had literally the same car.
They had the same car. And she said they bought all her bananas. She could never have bananas. She loved bananas when she was small, and they were all sold out.
They didn't have bananas in East Germany.
Well, we've talked about this, Max. Interesting enough, you said it's like, on Christmas time you might request a banana and they'd come and they were not very good. No, I'm not even kidding.
Yeah,
Is that?
Yes. I mean, back in the days, citrus fruit were expensive anyway. Like, oranges. Like, my dad was in West Germany, but they had oranges maybe for Christmas. Because it was just expensive. But in East Germany, they didn't have bananas. Like, if you are really lucky and, maybe your brother was in the Navy or something like that, and he could get some in. But yeah, the people from the West sent their families in the East stuff from the West all the time. Like Levi's jeans were really popular.
Did they go over the wall, or did you have to go around? Like, did they have to ship them down south out of Germany or north out of Germany and bring them back in?
The West could. The people from the West could just drive to the East. They had to go through a checkpoint, and they were very thoroughly checked. So that's a crazy thing. They would drive with Mercedes, nice Western cars into East Germany, and still the East was pretending everything is going well here.
So now, when you grew up, you were very young, of course, but were you East German or West German?
No, West German. West
German. Okay.
But my mom is from Poland, so that's even further east. But the Polish people, they never liked the whole Soviet thing. They never liked the Russians, and now I can understand why my mom doesn't like them.
Yeah, they don't seem real happy about current Russian situations.
But my mom had a German grandpa, so she could move from Poland to West Germany in the 70s or 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, the Polish people could skip the East German border and move straight to West Germany.
Okay, well that's nice.
But the East Germans couldn't.
Okay, well that's interesting how things
Little
things
history.
advance. So now, whatever number of years later, now you're legitimate. You could call yourself a YouTube star at this point
Ah.
because you have reached the 100,000 subscriber milestone, and you probably have a silver button somewhere around there, but I don't see it. I don't
I
see it in
do.
your back.
It's on the hallway,
Oh,
but
Max. Well, I'm disappointed you don't have it because Brian's son Gunnar is very excited about anyone. Like he's excited that we have YouTube channels with 100 subscribers, and he's always looking for our play buttons, and we don't have them. So I'm a little jealous that I don't have a play button like you do to show Gunnar and hold
one
up.
day you'll get it. It's just a matter of time. It took me 10 years.
It's a matter of time and good content too. That seems.
Oh, I was so lucky with the trash train video. It's one video. I built a trash train for my trash cans. For those that haven't seen it, and suddenly that got 4 million views last year, and suddenly I doubled my subscriber count.
So I mean, all that being said, now that you've accomplished this milestone that people think is awesome, what would you say? What's your advice? I mean, what would you say somebody that has, say, 1,000 YouTube subscribers? How would you say you got to that point?
Back in the day, I was listening to the podcast from Jimmy DeResta. I'm sure you know him from New York. And he always said, yeah, just keep making good content. Keep making good content. And I just made content. I wouldn't say it's the best out there. It's not super innovative or anything like that. But it's just over time, in 10 years, it automatically happened.
I mean, you make some. No, I mean, let's give Max a little credit here. You make some very interesting stuff, and I feel like I think the neat thing about you is you have a interesting personality on screen. You have your voice. It's like people hear it and it's like, well, that's pleasant.
Yeah,
I don't know where that's
Max
from.
is
Let me
very
see.
enthusiastic.
He is. He is. It's pleasant, and you can't quite place it. So you're like, I better subscribe and see what else he has to say. That's my take on it. But I don't
It
know.
says I'm subscribed, so one of those.
Oh,
is
thank
me.
you very much.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you. I mean, YouTube definitely played a part in this success. And also some other YouTubers like Physics Anonymous. They were always inspiration, of course. And also Jimmy DeResta, I called him a few times. He gave me some advice. That was nice. And all the other people that helped us with the podcast, we had so many cool guests over the years.
Oh yeah, yeah. We
Laura Kampf, Becky Stern.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. Just some of these people have become my friends. Pocket 83. I talk to him every once in a while.
Yeah.
Physics Anonymous guys. I'll see them at they're somewhat not local, but they're in Orlando. I'm a couple hours away, and I saw them at the Orlando Maker Fair this year. It was a
Cool.
little sad because they were getting ready for a BattleBots competition, and you weren't supposed to go in the pit zone. So I saw them from afar, but I didn't get to say hello. But so if they're listening, hello. So belated hello. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, doing this and stuff.
I mean, we're all
Um,
doing this for fun. We're not making really money with this. So
No,
I think that makes it easy. If you make it for fun by yourself, then you have no pressure that you have to perform well. But
right.
if you say, I want to quit my job and make this my income source, then that is really hard.
Yeah, I'm sure that gets, not very much fun. I mean, that being said, I mean, how many views has your trash train video gotten?
4 million and something, 4.5,
I
think.
I see the number over here. If you guys want me to tell you what it actually
How much is it?
You're up at 4.7 million. So I would have rounded that to
bad.
5.
Yeah.
I
not-
would have
bad.
gave you that. I wouldn't have argued.
so I mean, when you get to that level though, are you making money that is, I don't know,
No,
today
it's not
I
considerable.
okay, because I think
Not at
about what I
all.
make on YouTube a year in my channel with about 5,000 subscribers. I could maybe buy my family dinner once a year or so, maybe twice a year. I
Yeah.
mean, but you're not on the.
The
Are you on
4
the used?
million clicks, that is a bit of money, definitely. But it's just one video with 4 million. The other one last year had both 1 million clicks. and they paid about 800 euros, I think, each.
You've got
Okay.
two since then that have about 1 million views.
Yeah, I got lucky.
Yeah,
Really
well,
lucky.
I was. You weren't here yet. I was telling Jeremy before you showed up. You're I mean, you're battling a flood, Max.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a disaster. Of course, people are going to click on it. It's horrible, and well, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody got hurt or anything. It's property damage, but no, thank
Yeah.
goodness nobody gets.
Thank goodness it wasn't in the workshop. It was just in the corridor.
Ooh.
And before it could reach the workshop, it went into sump pump. Because the workshop is around some corners and it couldn't reach that far. But that would have been a real nightmare.
Water does not know how to make left turns. You have to put everything around a left. If you make rights, you're in trouble. The water just shows right up.
Yeah, that's what they taught you in civil engineering school, right, Pat?
No, I didn't go to. I am not a real engineer.
Oh, okay. Well, that's okay. Many of all of us could say, any one of us could say that in some sense of the word, I suppose.
A few years ago when I started and I had like 1,000 subscribers, I thought like, wow, I bet now I'm getting some tools for free or something like that. Still didn't happen to this day. Like if I was a tool manufacturer, some small stuff here and there. Like I had a Japanese company, they make really nice pliers and they were really kind. I think it's the Japanese culture. They sent me some like 3 or 4 really nice pliers. It's money-wise, it's not a huge thing. Like doesn't pay my bills, of course, but that was a really nice gesture. Fujiya is the company. That was really nice of them. But like if I was the big tool brands, the DeWalt or Bosch or however
you're
they're
way
called.
too small for an international DeWalt or Bosch, right?
Yeah, for DeWalt, they should send everybody their tools.
Yeah.
Like everybody that ever watches a YouTube video, they just should see the yellow tools and think, oh, that's the one to go for.
YouTube
doesn't even make
They're
sense
YouTube tools.
Buy any of the other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right about that because I mean, it's what is it? It costs them something, but it's you get the right person watching it. Like, oh, this guy just happens to be the president of whatever. It's like, oh, DeWalt, just happens to go get in his head or her head or whatever. It's well, we'll buy one for each person in our company or whatever. But if you've seen the Milwaukee or Bosch or Ryobi, maybe you're going for that one. So you never know.
Yeah.
It's a funny. I don't know if we've ever told this on the air, but I remember a certain there was a certain saw manufacturer. I wanted to get one of their saws, and I was like, well, I'll write them an email, see if they can send me something for free. Which was a bit presumptuous of me because it was an expensive thing, and they wrote me back this really nice letter. Yada yada yada. I don't remember what it was exactly, but I just remember it's like, well, that's really nice. They sent me this personal note. And it's funny because Max was telling me, he's like, yeah, actually, I asked them for the same thing. And they wrote me this really nice note too. And, well, you remember what happened, Max. We started comparing notes.
Yeah.
And it was the exact same letter. I mean, at least we didn't actually swap it back and forth, but the wording, I mean, if I remember right, it was pretty much a form letter that was meant to look.
Yeah, and if they paid attention, it probably would have been obvious because it probably didn't say "Dear Jeremy." It probably just said "Hey you" up at the top. And
and they always say, Cook. "Oh, we love your content, great stuff." Unfortunately, we already reached we don't have a budget anymore for this year, but check again with us sometime.
Yeah, so maybe you could check back with them and see if you get a whatever nicer. I guess it'd be nice either way, but more personal response.
But anyway, I'm not doing this for money. I'm just doing it for fun, and YouTube is an inspiration for me as well to learn new stuff.
Oh, for sure. Where would you say you get your inspiration from YouTube wise? What's Jimmy DeResta, obviously Physics Anonymous. You like them, but anything else you would say now?
Say Jeremy at the beginning, S. Cook.
Oh, of course, the Clear Walker. I mean, that is an inspiration because you did the laser cut, the acrylic. Was it acrylic or polycarbonate?
It was polycarbonate. So Yeah, I probably should have used acrylic. That would have been
Lexan.
much easier.
Polycarbonate's the one that's Lexan.
Yeah.
Lexan,
Yeah.
right? And in
Different brand
theory,
names.
you could about a half inch. You can shoot it with a 22, and it'll absorb it. It looks really cool. So I've heard.
And that was important for your strand beast.
Yeah, of course.
Because you live in Florida.
Right. It's interesting living in Florida. It's nice. It's nice and not nice how much attention we get for various things.
But you can take something from any video. You always have something to take away. Like some people buy some rental equipment and you learn about their struggle with the rental company because they broke a digger, an excavator, or with your video, you pressed in the bearings and so on, get the tolerances right. It's all stuff that you can learn, and especially at the beginning. There weren't so many around. Like there was Jimmy the Rester and a few others. And you could learn so much from them, which otherwise you would never know about because you don't read about it in books.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, because it's, we take some of this stuff for granted now, but it's it wasn't always the thing where you could just look up, oh, how do I do this? Well, let's go to YouTube and see what's going on. So, see what people.
Yeah, I ain't
what
driving
people
to the
make.
library just to find out what the tolerance is supposed to be on that bearing. That's just that's way too much for me.
Way too much work. So, yeah. But I guess the other thing, just thinking about, well, I think we should. I guess it's not time for. We're going to ask you about your new shop, of course. I don't know. Is it time for a coffee break, or should we?
How do you know?
Actual coffee break?
What's that?
You're having an actual coffee break?
Well, I mean, maybe.
Sponsor.
No, it's just kind of the thing we do. All right, Pat. Well, welcome to the coffee break. Shall we go ahead and read off our top 5 or so patrons?
I will count them with my fingers, like I try to do every time.
Okay, so first we got Timothy Moran. Hello, Carl. I saw you the other day. You said you say hi to me. I say hi to you every 3 episodes or so. So hello, Michael Sizer.
Quarterly.
Yeah, quarterly. That's right. Stuart Morrow, Raptor, creatively spelled, Brian Moses, and of course, Positive Waves waving on by. We appreciate all of your sponsorship. That's awesome. Now, if somebody did want to support us on Patreon, what would they do, Pat?
Oh, they could go to patreon.com/createinvent, all one word.
Nice.
But Jeremy, they don't have to pay us monies on Patreon.
They don't.
You don't have to. We appreciate, if you hit likes and thumbs up and subscribes and things in the various places where this video or audio shows up, because it shows up in common places, sketchy places, skeevy places. You never know where it's going to be, but wherever you hit a thumbs up, we're going to be excited about it.
Well, that's true. And you know what else would be excited about, right, Pat?
Oh no, I don't.
All right, so if you want to leave us a message and do a time delayed live call in, you can go to speakpipe.com/create-invent. So you just go there and press start recording, and you can say whatever you want to us, and we may play it on there, or we may not. But yeah, if you got questions, comments, whatever, you just want to say your name, say, hey, I'm whatever. That's fine.
It's true. You could go there on your phone to the web if you have a smartphone.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of you do, because almost everybody does now.
Most of you, yeah. You can use
talk at us.
You can use your burner if you want, But yeah, if you want to just have
we won't know is the bummer. I'd be excited to. You can tell me it's your burner, and I'll be excited.
Just tell us that. And if you don't want us to play it, we can do that too. Just let us know. So, yeah, either way.
Yep.
But yeah,
we could play it. We could say your name. We could not say your name. Whatever you want. We're going to assume that if you leave us your name though, and you don't tell us, don't tell anybody. Then
it's gonna be public.
We'll call you out. So,
yeah. All right. Well, yeah. With that, why don't we get everybody back to our show? So.
Oh, is that the right song?
It might be.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Why not? So anyway, I just YouTube videos. Do you have anything coming up that you have planned? Anything, any cool projects you're working on?
Yes, I do. I'm building a workshop this year. A very long dream that I had. Because so far I worked from my parents' garage pretty much. And now I'm building a workshop. It's going to be 22,000 square feet, I think. 600 square
20
meters
That's inside the building.
inside the building. It's
Okay.
half the size of a ice hockey rink, if that helps you.
Okay. I feel like ice hockey rinks. I don't know. Is there a standard size for an ice hockey rink? I don't
There
really
must
know.
be, right? I've only been to one game in one rink, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Because
I
it's
mean, it's not a football field, but it's also not a tennis court. It's somewhere in between. So ice hockey
okay.
rink fits
Yeah.
the best, but nobody knows how big it is.
Max, I watched your video, and you said how big not the building was going to be, but how big the plot of land you got was.
Yeah,
And it was in meters or something. I'm like, what? How big is that? So then I had to go and Google my house to find out how big my lot is, just to do the math. Just to say, well, how many of my yard is Max's building? It's like three or four of my yards, or so. I don't know what it was.
Yeah,
Four.
it's
maybe?
not super
It's
big.
It's
but
big.
It's like a logarithmic scale. Like compared to an IKEA or an Amazon warehouse, it's tiny.
Yeah, Max's workshop. It's just like one of the sections of IKEA, like where they have where they have all the model bathrooms. That's Max's workshop.
Yes.
Where the model
Yes.
bathrooms are.
I've yet to go to an IKEA, to be honest. I've seen the outside of one and it seems pretty big.
Where do you get your meatballs?
It's huge. Yeah, the hot dogs.
I don't know.
Costco.
My wife. Oh yeah, I get the hot dogs from a Costco, and the meatballs. I don't know. My wife gets them from Publix, probably. I don't know. It's Publix is a grocery store here. That's
Publix. Oh, I thought it was
I've been there.
Publix.
It's a weird name.
I've been to one.
Do they have Publix in Germany, Max? I
No,
assume
I
not.
went to Florida. I went to Publix.
Oh.
We,
Yeah, there's a Publix on like every corner here, but it's
like half the shelves are sugar.
yeah,
Sugar's
Publix. It's like
delicious, Max.
Publix is like the nice.
know.
Well, it's not as nice as like I don't know, whatever those nature. You know, the more natural like.
Oh, the ones that you get in California.
Yeah, like a-
One.
Like
What's
Whole
that?
Foods.
Whole Foods,
Yes.
yeah, it's not like Whole Foods, but it's like it's like the best of like your like not that healthy grocery stores, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
It's expensive Mars bars and M&Ms.
So I try to do our shopping at Costco if we can
So
pick into
is
it because
Publix, is that like the HEB?
if an AGB is a nice grocery store,
Well, I don't
assume
know.
so.
I've never been, but everybody was really excited when they were building an HEB here in town, and you didn't have to drive to the next town over. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be. So, but yeah, no, Publix is it's very much a Florida thing. I mean, it's they have. I was gonna say they have Cuban sandwiches there, which I guess that would be from Cuba, but it's kind of Florida. Obviously, a lot of
Florida adjacent.
Floridians,
It's been imported.
Florida adjacent. But yeah, they have great
Like
public,
Georgia.
like Georgia. Anyway, so it was your workshop. It's
It's a lot bigger than what you currently have. Does this mean your business is successful? You're growing. You're happy.
Yes.
Are you stressed out?
Yes.
Is it good?
No, I'm not stressed out really at all. I was a little bit at some point when I was about to sign the purchase agreement. I got really nervous that week, but that settled, and after that I was fine. But it's a big step. Buying the land was expensive, but it could have been worse, and building the whole thing. But yeah, I'm going at it step by step. First, there was a lot of very cute cat on pet
What are you
screen.
doing in here? I didn't know. I locked Trudy in with us here. Apparently,
I see that cat just walked onto the screen. Just seems to have run of your desktop there. Their Pat.
Yeah, she's just here. She's gonna steal my water soon. Is probably
Cute little
so
kitty.
cute.
So are you going to have a shop cat to keep the rat control or anything, Pat or Max?
No, but I just built a remote controlled lawnmower.
I I thought you had one, or you bought one, but now
Oh,
you.
I bought one, but it's not that great.
Like remote control,
Uh,
like you've got to do it, or remote controlled like a Roomba.
well, first I bought one from Husqvarna for 2 grand. And they say, oh, it's amazing. It will last you for 10 years or so. Yeah, at some point you have to replace the battery. But apart from that, it's a perfect machine. And this, I think it's really unfair. They start with, okay, if your lawn is of a certain size, like small, medium, large, you need this, that, or the other model. And they're staggered in price by like, it starts at 600 euros, goes up to 2 grand, or maybe even 4 grand. And they always say, "Oh, buy a little bigger model. It will last longer for your lawnmower." So I bought like the 1,500 square meter model for a 500 square meter lawn. And later I found out that all the models use the same motors, same gears, some even the same battery. But they say, "Oh, this one can mow so much more than the other," even though it's pretty much the same thing. It's just upselling, really.
That'd make me mad.
Yeah, it makes me mad. And that's not even the worst. Now we discovered this year that it deep discharges itself until the battery is completely dead.
Oh, to make
Oh,
sure you
that's
need a new
cool.
battery sooner.
Yes,
They know what they're
I
doing.
got I got the battery replaced. 3 months later, it was dead again because it got
Oh,
stuck for one night without getting back to the charger. And they say, well, it's out of warranty. You have to pay for it. And a new battery is 220 euros. And
wow.
it's even smaller than one of these for your cordless drill that cost even the most expensive cordless drill battery is like 80 euros, but they charge 220, and only the dealer can replace it. You can't replace it yourself because
Oh,
it's software
jinkies.
locked. It's like a combination of the worst practices ever
So
to
so
screw over the customer.
so you built your own. Did you build it from scratch? First of all, is this for your business or is this for your home?
Uh, it will be for the business, I think, because
Oh,
we have sand. We don't have earth. We have pretty much only sand.
Don't
And
mow sand,
no,
Max.
it's a good opportunity for wildflowers because you can grow flowers there that wouldn't grow in normal dirt. And these wildflowers, they have to be mowed down like twice a year.
hmm,
And for that, I'm using that lawnmower. It's remote controlled, like a RC car basically. So I bought a lawnmower, or I got it for free from Metabo, which was very nice because I said to them, "Hey, I've got a crazy idea." Uh, and then I built the frame around it to attach some wheels, put an Arduino in there, remote control, some lights. Yeah,
okay. So we're gonna see
we'll
this video. This is gonna be
yeah,
the next trash train.
This will be
hopefully.
a
Uh,
million views,
Oh, but
especially
there
if you
are
run
many
over something
people on
good with it.
YouTube that have it. Oh, like
what's that?
watermelons.
What's that?
Uh, they have a lot of people on YouTube that build RC lawnmowers. Probably 30 people already did it and made a video. So it's a popular thing.
Okay, like
Would you believe I don't own a lawnmower?
I believe that.
Have you got a
Do you own
company
a
that does it
lawnmower,
for you?
Jeremy?
I don't actually. So,
Well, how can
Okay,
you not have a lawnmower?
they come and do it. They drive up with. They bring out a lawnmower and two guys with weed whackers, and they
yeah,
go crazy. It takes them like 20 minutes, and they leave, and it's
yeah.
amazing.
Max,
Nobody has that in Germany. Nobody.
nobody has a lawn service in Germany. They all do it themselves.
Everybody does it themselves.
I wouldn't even know
Okay,
how to do it. That's
I
not
have
Like
done
true.
it before,
if
like in my
if
old house.
if you have a condominium with like 20 tenants, then they have a company.
Okay,
Well,
well,
we just live here.
well,
Every
This is just us. We don't have any tenants or anything.
I mean, it's nice for you that you have that kind of service industry.
yeah. Well, actually, it's funny. We were talking about that when we had Pocket 83 on last, and he was, as you know, he's quite the thinker, and he said he was talking about how you optimizing lawn mowing and how it was such an obsession for him. And I told him I had the solution, and I tell him at the end of his you know what he's talking about. I said, well, we have an HOA and I pay for it, and he said he didn't think that was a very you know the right answer. I don't think. But he also said that an HOA wasn't the solution for any problem. I remember him saying that, which, you know,
Oh, Pat is
yeah,
Is this
feeding his
good for
cat.
views?
I don't know. Pat's
Well,
feeding the
this
cat, and the cat is actually that's a fantastic view. If you're just listening to this, Pat is feeding the cat in front of the camera, and the cat looks like it's some sort of
and I'm not letting
tiger
her
or
get the
something.
treat, so it looks like she's really trying very hard here.
You
Wow,
must give her the
that is.
treat. That's against the rules. But how much
Well, I
does
don't
the
know
lawn
how
service
well this will
cost you?
translate to audio, but I think the YouTube people are getting
Oh,
a
good.
treat. Treat, yeah. Um, so basically, you'll keep this lawnmower. You'll keep this at your new business or your new facility, correct? And
Yeah,
you'll take it out when it needs mowing. that's
yeah. I
that's
mean,
great.
it's a fun project. I'm not sure how practical it will be. I will see. But it was fun to make, and it's fun to drive around. I mean, even driving an RC car around is fun. So this should be fun, I think.
Yeah.
It's better than
And
pushing it
just
yourself.
yeah, it's true.
And
So,
it has the basket still at the back, so I can pick up the leaves in the autumn.
Can you
oh,
sit in it and drive it around with the remote?
I sat on it, and it didn't break. So
okay.
That's the
Well,
minimum. That's the minimum requirement. If it doesn't break, that's the start. That's the beginning.
I mean, next up, I would love to build something like a little remote-controlled excavator.
yeah, that would be pretty cool.
There's a whole. You could. I bet those are all over YouTube. There are people that make little tiny versions of the real things, and they actually move. Yeah, they dig a mine like in a hole in the backyard in like just
No.
like you're like they don't cheat. They don't go out there with the shovel and they do it all with
Oh yeah.
the machines.
Oh, but that's tedious. If it's really small, if it's a miniature.
Well, I mean they're not. It's
Well,
probably
yeah, I
just
mean,
like real life because they make a scale mine that they dig the spiral. I don't know what you call that kind of mine.
yeah, what do they call that? That's strip mining. I don't know, but the thing is, okay, so you're doing this as your hobby, right? But you could be like getting paid. You're not getting paid for this, so it feels like if you're really into this, you might as well just get a job as a mining person and maybe get some money in the
Well,
process
maybe they
too.
wish they could.
Maybe.
Maybe
Like we
that's
all
their dream.
watched Gold Rush Alaska. I would love to, dig for gold in Alaska
Oh,
without the
I
hassle.
have to. This is totally out in left field, but I've asked people this, and for all I know, I've asked you this before, Max. When kids in Germany, when you dig a hole, where are you trying to get to?
From us, it's pretty much New Zealand.
Is that what you say though? Do kids say do you say to kids, "Oh, if you keep going, you're going to get to New Zealand"?
No, they want to go to China.
Yeah,
The
us
kids
too.
want to go to China, but
Yeah.
it is actually pretty much New Zealand.
Well, I feel like I'd rather go to New Zealand than China. Although, I mean, I'd love to see Hong Kong. It seems like a pretty awesome place.
Are you digging to China as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they tell the kids.
I
Digging
asked-
China.
Same here.
I've been extra curious about this ever since I asked a friend of mine from Africa where kids dig to it. He said, "No, Pat, we don't dig holes." I was like, okay.
What do you mean they don't?
That's what he said. They climb
certainly there are-
trees. He said, when we were kids, we climbed trees. I'm like, okay, I don't know.
I like climbing trees as a kid
Well,
too.
I did too. But you're not getting any. I mean, you could see the top of the tree. You're not making it to the moon or something up there. You climb
into the moon. You're right. There's not a good euphemism for that.
No. No, but I'm waiting for somebody to have a better answer than China.
Well, that's it. That's true. So in Germany they say, "Are you digging in China?" That's still.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the geography would bother me a little bit. I mean, I guess if you're.
Well, the geography should bother you anyway, because it's not right here either.
You would dig to the Pacific, right?
I think so.
Maybe maybe the person who came up with that phrase in Germany is the same person who came up with what angular drilling, sideways. What is that? What do they call that? Fracking?
Horizontal drilling.
Horizontal drilling. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so. It maybe.
You could get, if you could dig a hole, if you could dig the tunnel, you could get anywhere in the world via gravity in something like 14 minutes or something. It doesn't matter
that
which
work?
way you angle. I don't know if it's the 14 minutes is totally out of my memory. I have no idea if that's right. But
wouldn't there be zero gravity in the center of the Earth?
yeah, but there's more but it's always the same amount of total gravity no matter which angle you go through from point to point. So if you're just going 100 miles, I don't know that you could dig a hole that goes in a straight line 100. I don't think you could actually do that, but from whatever the minimum is to all the way across from Australia to Alaska, I don't know, those are not opposite either, are they? But it's always 14 minutes. But substitute 14 minutes for whatever's the correct number. I can't be right about that.
But see, I feel like if you're going that fast, you're hitting the speed of sound at some point, and if you're in a hole, that's going to be. I mean, I don't know what it is to hit the speed of sound in a tube.
Interesting.
That's probably not good for you.
It depends how much air is in there. We're supposed to. Elon Musk says we take all the air out.
Well, there you go.
Maybe. I don't know.
Says it. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not.
But I can't dig that hole. I don't have the tools for that. You can't do it with miniature stuff. That'll never make it.
We got a rental excavator to excavate the building foundation. And last year we had a mini excavator, and that's about 2 tons.
Are you?
And I said, we need something
Are you at
bigger.
the controls?
Yeah. And I said, I need something bigger. And he said, yeah, I'll give you 1 size bigger. And he said, no, better 2 sizes bigger. So 2 sizes bigger was only 3.8 tons. So it's not even twice the weight. And that still felt like a tiny excavator. It took us forever. 4 days of digging.
Better than shovels, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. But we'd need something much bigger, like a 10-ton excavator. That would be efficient.
So now seeing the initial video of this new shop, you had it basically graded by somebody else, correct? Is that right or no? Okay, no. You did that yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I forgot, but it are you going to be doing all the building yourself, or are you having somebody put up like the frame or?
No, I'm not doing that. I just did the excavation stuff because that's first of all, excavator stuff is fun. And especially if you only do it for a week or two, every day is still exciting.
So know why these people are digging small holes in their backyard with pretend tiny equipment.
Yeah, I thought I could put it on eBay and say like, hey, if you want to come dig, here's an excavator. People
That's
would have
quite
done it for free,
was it the Tom Sawyer? If you're probably not. Are you familiar with Tom Sawyer? Max,
yes, but I haven't read it. It's
well,
the book,
you know, like he had
that's
the thing
a song
where he said,
by Rush.
Oh, like
Canada.
paint this
fence,
right?
talking about?
Yeah, paint the fence. He got the kids to produce. Like, oh, so you can paint this fence, and you got to pay me.
Wax the floor.
So, did anybody take you up on this?
No, it was an idea, but of course, it would not be. There would be problems in Germany. Everything has to be by the book here, and health and safety.
So, are you gonna? Is it? I know in America, a lot of these industrial buildings are made out of aluminum, or I know you said it a little differently there, but is it like an
aluminum?
Aluminum.
It's not aluminum.
Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be. Are our buildings aluminum, Jeremy?
Yeah, a lot of them have like basically a steel structure on the inside. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's steel on the outside.
I think it's steel.
It's metal. Okay. Is all I know.
That's metal building.
Are you going to get a magnet? Building? I'll be back. I'm going to take a drive to a building and see if it sticks.
First, we did the foundation. We dug the foundation. Next will be some concrete. Over that, we'll put insulation. So the whole concrete slab is insulated from the outside. Inside of that insulation, we pour the concrete. Then we wait for 2 months. And then the next company comes in and sets up the steel structure, 6 meters high, 30 meter long, 20 meters wide. As I said, half a hockey ring. And then they clad it with
But you're not going to have the
sandwich
ice.
panel. No, not the ice. Floor heating or cooling.
The
I mean, who
opposite
knows?
of a hockey rink.
The opposite, yeah. And we have sandwich panels. So it's steel. In the middle, there is foam. And on the other side, there's steel again. And that steel is coated with some kind of paint or some film.
Okay.
So it doesn't rust. So the whole wall is just one panel. You install it, screw it down, and that's it. I
Nice.
saw it like Jimmy DeResta. He built a pole barn, they call it, and it's all wood and rock wool and wood cladding and PVC siding and so on. And I find it strange. We just have these sandwich panels. They come from the factory. You screw them on, and that's the whole wall in one thing, all in one.
I've seen some of these metal buildings that go up where the both walls and the roof are one piece. They're like long strip. Well, I don't know that they're really one piece. They put them together on the ground, and then they stand this big sort of A-shaped thing up.
Out of wood.
No, out of metal. Out of metal.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
And they build it out of those 1 foot wide. I don't know if they're a foot. They're probably more than a foot wide panels of. I'm doing a bad job describing this. We are a podcast. This is audio. I should be painting a picture in your head, but I don't even understand what I'm talking about.
So it sounds to me like you're talking about basically like an A-frame.
Yeah. Well, it's more house shaped, right? You know, it's got the straight sides with the A on the top.
It's the gable truss.
But it's just this flat piece. It's just this up, diagonal, down, and they build that on the ground, and then they hoist it up somehow to and connect it to the next one, and then they build another one, and they connect it to the next until you go from a 1 foot deep house. It's not a house; it's a workshop.
That's a 30 exactly foot. What we're building. Exactly that. It's one frame after the other, and then it gets clad with sandwich panels.
Magic.
Nice. Magic. Well, that's cool. So it's
insulation and will be energy efficient. We can heat it in winter. In summer, we can cool it because we're getting a heat pump. That is nice. We get lots of electrics, window shutters, the one that rolls down at night to save some energy.
Oh, that's nice.
We watch a lot of the YouTube shorts of the Vietnamese lady who's married to a German in Germany. Have you seen these?
We talked about her yesterday. We find her so strange, my wife and I. Because she gets suggested to us all the time. We haven't followed or subscribed.
No, but she has a million videos.
She's a little bit odd, and I think that's what makes her appealing.
That's Max. I hate to tell you this, Max, but that's exactly what they say about you.
hey, but for everybody here that hasn't seen this Vietnamese lady who's married to a German guy, what's the appeal here? I mean, certainly that's in itself isn't that interesting. I guess. I mean, it's interesting. I guess
it's not interesting. Like she says, "Oh, here in Germany, I'm using the train today, and here you buy a ticket, and that's a train."
Yeah, but there's ones where she says she goes back to Vietnam and she doesn't know how to cross the street because the cars never stop, and now she's scared. She used to have to run out into traffic that just keeps moving. But in Germany, the cars stop for you. And and there's another video where she doesn't trust that. Her German boyfriend is trying to explain, no, we're in a crosswalk. You just go. And she's like, no, you can't go. Their cars are going to hit you. You have to wait and then run.
Is it meant to be like a cultural exploration of Germany for Vietnamese people?
It's meant to be fun. I think it's meant to get clicks. It's meant to make you watch it. And
what's this lady's name or what's her channel?
Oh, I don't know.
Google Vietnamese lady in Germany, or I'm not even sure if it's Vietnam. But
I'm positive.
She also does it
I'm completely positive that part's correct.
Very DIY style. It doesn't look like a high-end production at all. She's not a model influencer. She's like, oh, today I'm filming how I make coffee in Germany. 1 million clicks.
Yeah, and there's a video where she makes fun of the German guy because he only uses 3 spices.
How many spices?
And 2 of them are pepper. And
I think 3 spices is enough. I mean,
Yeah,
how many
but then
spices
she
are you
shows
required?
her area where all her spices are, and there's like 8,000 bottles of different, who knows what everything is. And he's got 3 different, he says he's got like 9 spices because he has 3 different kinds of black pepper, 3 different kinds of white pepper, and he has this one that you're not supposed to use because it's too spicy. It's cayenne pepper or something. But don't use that. That's dangerous. Or something. Something along those lines.
Well, yeah. So if you don't,
Yeah, who knew
if you
we'd be
like,
talking about YouTube Shorts today on
Yeah.
the podcast?
There's one lady that is I find really interesting to watch because it's so weird. She's like doing a little theater, a little role play, but with herself. And she's the employee and the HR person. And
Toodaloo.
the HR,
okay, that sounds kind of
She
funny.
says toodaloo at the end of everyone, right? Is that her?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's her, but it's like the HR person always comes like, "Oh, we're gonna scrap your holidays," and she's always aggressively friendly to the HR person. But it's so weird because she's filming this at her house. She's
Yeah.
not. She doesn't even have a job. I think she's just pretending.
So
She's fake. She's fake firing herself every day.
yeah, that sounds kind of funny. So can you tell me what the name of this person is? Or is this just
Max is looking, I can tell. Look at the concentration.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
I feel like I should know what to do here.
Well, there's
we
not
can hear
much
you.
you could do.
Oh, I'm back.
Oh, thank goodness, Max. We were worried. We've been watching you move around and say you can't hear anything.
We have another guy here in my hometown. Actually, I found out by accident.
Where do you
You
live?
guys could do a collaboration.
In Lübeck. Lübeck. It's northeast of Hamburg. He's a lawyer.
Near Peenemünde too, I believe. For
exactly. Huh? He's a lawyer, and he always pretends that he's in a legal trouble. Like he's the bad guy saying, "Oh, I'm going to destroy your car," and then he explains to himself who is the bad guy. "Oh, if you do that, I'm gonna sue you under this clause," and so on. And he films the whole thing inside of a kitchen studio. It's a shop that sells kitchens here in town. So, and I think my suspicion is he's not even working as a lawyer. I think he once studied the law, then became a salesperson in that kitchen that kitchen studio. We call them kitchen studios here. So it's a place where you buy kitchens. And I think he's just pretending to be a lawyer inside of that after hours and filming these little TikTok videos.
Yeah, I'd like to see a collaboration with you and him. He could, talk how he's going to sue you.
Bring him out to your new building that's not there
Yeah.
yet, and have him tell you what kind of illegal things you shouldn't do.
Oh, before we spoke about money, right? About YouTube money.
Oh, I like money.
There's this guy here in town. He does bicycle videos, and he saw my trash train on YouTube. So like, oh, I'm from the same town, and then we had a little chat, and he's like, so this is going pretty well for you, right? With 100,000 subscribers. And I said like, well, it doesn't pay me. It pays me almost nothing. And he was like, oh, sucks for you. I'm doing all right. and he only has 20,000 subscribers.
Well, it depends on what you mean by all right, because it's, you say, okay, I made 800 euros in this million. It's like, that's nothing, but that is not, that's
well, and
might not be worth it your time.
But
it's,
I'm happy
something.
with that. I'm not doing it for the money, but he's living full term, just with that.
There's a difference between what somebody pays to click on a trash train and what somebody pays to click on a NFT, crypto, stock trading tips, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Like an order of magnitude difference it could be.
Well, he told you he was doing all right. Did you inquire, and would you agree that he's doing all right by your standards or not?
I don't know, of course, but he implied that he's doing really well.
Okay. Hey, look at that. Max has a cat too.
He said it with pity.
No, there was a cat over Max's right shoulder.
Or was that just a person on the screen?
There was a cat.
I don't,
You
maybe
have
it
a-
was a cat. Cat, come
What?
here.
Max won't even tell
He
us
doesn't-
if he has a cat.
He doesn't even. it's- All right, Max is going to get his. Oh, what a. See, Max
Oh,
has a
look
cute,
how
fluffy
fluffy.
cat,
She's
whereas
so
Pat's
fluffy.
is more of a short hair.
Say hello.
Hello.
Very nice.
She's white, cute, fluffy.
And he's stroking him like the cat, like Dr. Evil, right?
A long time ago, Max, I had 2 fluffy cats like that. One of them loved to be brushed, and the other one only a little bit. And yours looks like it likes to be brushed because it looks very well groomed.
She likes attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think, just thinking about your videos and making money and stuff, do you think people should look to like make their money at this, or you think that's kind of I don't know. What do you think about the guy with the bike videos? What would you?
Oh, I mean, it's great.
What are
Great
your
for
thoughts?
him. I'm really happy for him. I was a bit astounded that he could look down upon me. I mean, he's got just a fifth. Naturally, you would think with a fifth of the subscribers, the income would be a fifth, but it was the other way around. So I was surprised by that, but I don't care. I'm doing this for fun. So
And he might not be telling you the truth either.
Well, he's got a niche, Jeremy. There might be people who are bicycling, who are serious about bicycling, are spending money on equipment, gear, bikes, repairs. There's got to be monetization. There's got to be a channel there somewhere.
And he does the bicycle reviews. So every week he has a different bicycle. He reviews it. And
and then there's an affiliate link. And
okay. I can see how that would make some money for you. So that's
so if you could have a new tool every week, Max, and
I mean, because that's true. Because I'm not.
Who wants the reviews?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you.
I mean, I like Max's trash train video, but at the same time, I'm not going to buy one. It's just not even. It's not even for sale. So, it's great for the audience, but maybe not great for. Who's buying that? Nobody's buying that. Nobody's selling that. It's just awesome to look at.
Well, I would, but I only go like 3 feet with the trash can. It's not a.
Yeah. Well,
if
it's
just
going back to what we said earlier, if we could dig a hole to maybe not China, but at least just really, really deep, you just throw your trash down there and and you forget about it.
Boy, that'd be a good skill. Like, how deep does this hole go? We just throw trash in there. We've never seen the bottom. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
One thing people in Germany do at the end of a house build, they collect all the scraps and they build stairs out of them. So they make a big pile, and then on top of that, they build the stairs towards the entrance of their house. So they save money on recycling the trash, and it's just buried under the steps.
It's a little landfill.
It's a little landfill, yeah.
A tiny landfill. Nice. So you got your shop. That's going to be your big project. Anything else you're working on these days, Max? I know,
It's really just that.
When are you going to be going live with it? Like, when do you expect to move in? What's what kind of timeline?
I think it's September.
Of this year. September.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's impressive.
Yeah. I mean, getting to this point, we started construction last week, basically. It was so much paperwork. It was crazy. So much paperwork, like 3 folders full, cost a fortune as well. And it's just a box. It's just a steel box. That's the way it is. That was the most stressful part, I think. And from now on, it hopefully will be smooth sailing.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, I guess when it comes down to it, a metal building like that, it's a fairly straightforward thing from a construction standpoint. I would have to assume.
Yeah.
So
It's really not difficult, and I think all the houses should be built that way, because it's so much cheaper. You get so much. Setting up these panels on the wall takes a group of 5 people, like maybe a week, and then your whole wall is done. It's waterproofing, it's insulation, it's the wall structure. But building a traditional house, need a bricklayer, you need a plasterer, you need somebody for the outside, the stucco or the cladding.
oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff to worry about. So I not that
Yeah.
I've ever built a house, but it sounds exhausting.
Yeah. Also, talking with all these different builders to be at the building site at the right time. Like the electrician has to be there at the very beginning and all the way through, and at the end.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's true.
difficult.
So what about you, Pat? Are you working on anything interesting these days?
Oh, Jeremy, I was going to tell you something. I know what I'm going to tell you about, Jeremy. I'm not working on
Okay.
anything interesting, but we got a new toy in the
All right.
kitchen.
Okay.
We got a thing called a Ninja Creamy. Have you
Now,
heard of this?
Did you?
Oh,
did
the
you
ice
see it
cream
at the?
maker.
The ice cream maker.
Oh,
It
that is
is-
cool.
Oh, Max, it is magical. You freeze a little bucket of stuff, like usually something with milk in it, right? And it is a solid, like, you could build an igloo out of these if you had enough of them. You put it in this machine and it uses a big press. It's an angry machine. A press to push down a spinning blade with a lot of force. And what comes out it feels and tastes like ice cream. It's
That is so nice.
magical.
What? Like anything? You just freeze whatever, and it just.
Well, I tried to
Coca-Cola.
freeze. I tried to freeze Kool-Aid. I thought that would be fun. That just came out like a big snowball. That was a bad. You need to have a little bit of fat in there to make it turn into
Yeah.
something like ice cream. But yeah,
Yeah.
somebody in our Discord server made me discover. He showed me you could buy on Amazon a big 2-pound bag of soft serve ice cream mix. It's a powder. And if you read the directions, you're just supposed to pour this whole thing into a 5-gallon bucket, fill it with water, stir it, and put it in a different machine. Well, I don't have that. But I've been using that vanilla ice cream as a base to put other things in. We put a can of
nice.
oranges in there, a can of peaches, I put a donut in there. The donut was fantastic. It was an apple fritter donut. It was like eating ice cream that is an apple pie. It is.
Oh, that sounds very good.
It is amazing. I don't understand much about the kitchen, guys, but this is so cool.
Well, that's
Everybody
interesting
should
about
try
this.
one.
That's
I'm
interesting
excited
about the
about
soft
that.
serve stuff. I remember going by a Taco Bell and seeing them having like a bag of meat product, and made me think even worse of that restaurant.
Have you ever? Boy, why do I feel like we've talked about this on this with Max before? Why does this feel like
I'm
something I
not
would
sure.
have talked to Max?
A
Are you
few
gonna
years
tell-
ago, I repaired one, but it was a Paco jet. That's the one
Yeah.
the chefs use.
Yeah,
And,
this is
the
at-home $200 instead of $6,000 Paco jet.
Yeah, and I bet that's because the patent ran out. Because I repaired the Paco jet from 1996.
Oh, that's about
And
right.
that was so complicated. They had shafts within shafts. Like one was moving down and one was turning. So it would really move down a spinning blade like fractions of a millimeter at a time.
Yeah.
And keep shaving a little bit of ice away, and that becomes that fluff.
Yep.
It was so complicated on the inside.
I'm
and
scared
they
to
cost
see what this
so
looks
much
like
money.
on the inside. But it's a C-shaped thing. You could tell that there's an actual press in there. You know,
Yeah.
you can tell inside that plastic there must be a big hunk of metal holding that thing together. It's
I mean, it drills through a chunk of ice. So
yeah. It did not like drilling through the Kool-Aid. It was not happy with that. And the whole machine was shaking. It was, but don't do it. Don't drill through Kool-Aid. But boy, I'm telling you, that soft serve ice cream mix is the key. Like, if you just make the soft serve vanilla ice cream, it's very boring. It's like, I don't know if you have these in Germany, Max, but Jeremy will probably remember this. You know the little plastic cups of ice cream with the little wooden spoons?
Mm.
That's what the vanilla is like by itself. It's very boring. But it's so lazy. You don't have to. You just put a few scoops of that in with some water, and then you throw in fruit, whatever. Chris, my wife Chris, she says I'm not allowed to just put a can of corn and some butter in there. She says that'll probably be terrible, but I really want to try it. I like the face that Jeremy's making, though. That's
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might be tasty.
you never know. I don't think
mean,
it should
maybe
be.
not
I
though.
think corn is good because it's hot. I don't think it'd be as good frozen.
Maybe not. I don't really like corn that much. So
You could do popcorn.
Oh,
battery exhaust.
uh
Hey,
oh.
am I still talking here?
You're
Can you
still
hear me?
talking. I just can't see it, Jeremy.
It says battery exhausted on my screen.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep going and I don't know. We're I think getting toward the end anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, Jeremy, what
as
are
long as
you
you
up
guys
to?
can hear me.
What?
S-
Since we can't see you, we should get you out of the way here with your stories.
Just making stuff, writing like usual. But I've been I don't know, but kind of thinking about my YouTube channel, Jeremy Cook, just general like DIY stuff. And it's been somewhat successful, but at the same time, I feel like I needed to maybe niche down a little bit. And at the same time, I'm interested in all kinds of different stuff like electronics, milling, CNC, 3D printing, and it just honestly seemed a little bit too random. So, yeah, long story short, I started a new channel called JCO Audio, which basically uses all the various like making techniques and kind of makes like a kind of a theme to it. I guess that's my thought. I don't have a lot up on it yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, I think we should go subscribe to this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this. How is it called?
Well, it's called JCO Audio. That person may have left a comment or two on your channel, Max, when I was yeah.
What does
Rock and roll
JCO audio
experiment?
mean?
So JCO Jeremy Cook, that's an audio because it's basically audio. What I was thinking, like, I'm not that good of a musician, but I like to make noises and kind of experiment with stuff. I think it'll be a nice way to kind of have a cohesive theme and still be able to use all the different techniques that maybe just kind of seem a little too random.
So is this similar to like Look Mom No Computer?
Yeah, so yeah, I guess I thought about that. It's I guess there would be some similarities there. I'm certainly not I don't have the same personality as Sam Battle by
No,
any
nobody
means.
has.
Well, I see hardly
Electron
any electronic music here, Jeremy. I see a drum and another drum-like thing, and another. I
right?
see a lot of percussion.
Okay, yeah, there's a decent amount of percussion. So yeah. So I guess I would subscribe it if you had the Blue Man Group and you gave them some electronics too, then maybe that would be it's still evolving. It's still kind of a new idea, but
It's 3 videos so far. I'm looking forward. I mean, I haven't watched them yet, but I'm looking forward to what you come up with.
All of my favorite blog posts I've ever written, Jeremy, share something. They have very similar titles. They all say something like, "I bought blank and I have no idea what I'm doing," and they always do well too. For years and years, they get lots of traffic. And
huh.
so
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't know what you're doing, Jeremy, but it's a good theme to do something without knowing what you're doing, and to say that you don't know what you're doing and explain that I'm new. I've never made a drum, but if I could do it, so can you. And look, I can bang on the drum too, and so can you.
Yeah. I think that's a I think that's a good thing to keep in mind because I mean, you say you're not saying that, but yes, I don't know much about music. I couldn't build a guitar, but at the same time, one thing that kind of inspired this, I had 3 videos basically almost ready to go that were music related. I'm like, I don't want to put this on my main channel because that's not, it's more if I have a cohesive theme, I don't want to put it on something that's kind of random or vice versa, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah,
figured
it
I'd try this.
makes sense. It's always difficult to judge like what does my audience want to see next. Like
Right.
sometimes I see videos that I find interesting from other people. Like it could just be Pat getting a bagel or something like that because he lives in Scranton, right? No, you are from
Well,
Scranton. You
I
don't live
I
in
used
Scranton.
to.
You,
For
you used
20
to,
something years I did.
but it's a different culture and stuff that for him is like everyday life. For me, it's interesting because I live on the other side of the world. So that would be interesting. But Pat would probably think, "Oh, this is just boring. I won't
Yeah,
show this to
but
my
I
audience."
watched the girl make coffee in Germany because she doesn't understand German, right?
Yeah,
That's
and for us, it's boring, but for others,
I think about your channel, Max, and you've done quite well, and you've done some really good projects. It's like I feel like I've done some good projects too, but at the same time, they're mixed in with some projects that probably are, marginal. I just felt like maybe a cohesive theme would be a little bit better for me.
well, I think it's always good to have stuff that's not generic. I don't want to say that word, but stuff that could appeal to anybody if they're watching. But there are also other channels that are very popular that go very in depth into some subjects. Like Matthias Wandel, the woodworking guy, he's got such geeky projects all the time, but he gets millions of views. But then again, he's always also been making videos for 15 years or so.
yeah. We shouldn't judge ourselves or what we're doing. We shouldn't even base what we're doing on channels that grew 15 or 20 years ago, right? Because the rules are all different now. Like if you got to 1 million subscribers before the rules changed, everything you're playing a different game than the rest of us are.
Yeah. But then
Well,
there
I
are
get,
also new channels that have like they got the right way of making their videos that they can grow like to 1 million subscribers in 2 years. Because it's just a style that everybody finds appealing. And if you find that magic on how to make the videos,
yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, like you said, it's not like, I mean, I'd love to make money at it, but it's not like this is really my main source of income by any means. I feel like it's like you got to find something you're excited about and find something that's interesting. It's like the stuff that I find exciting is not necessarily cohesive, if that makes any sense. It just my interests change a lot, so I'm hoping this can be some sort of cohesive theme that unify things a little bit. And not knowing what I'm doing is a great way to put that too.
Because people watching you don't know what they're doing either.
have you got any projects lined up?
Somebody showed me this, basically what's called a kill switch for a guitar. Basically, you just press a button and it makes the guitar cut off really fast. Like the guy from Rage Against the Machine, we use this a lot. The Tom Morello, he was pretty famous for doing that, and it's really easy. You just put this button in on your guitar, you cut off the input, short the input basically. I was like, oh, I could do that. I put it on my milling machine. I put a hole through my guitar and yada yada yada. And I'm like, some of this is kind of hard, but some of this is very simple. So and maybe it's appealing to a lot of people. So I feel like it's
Yeah.
maybe hits a couple nice niches.
I mean, if you make
And
that into a short, like how to sound like the guy from Race Against the Machine,
Yeah.
all you need to do, drill a hole, put a button in, you need one of these buttons, put 2 wires from here to here, solder them on. If you can't solder them on, just twist them, put some tape over it, and boom, you sound like this. And that would be a
right.
30-second video, and every guitar player would think, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Actually, I have I'm not that good of a guitarist, but I have a friend of mine coming over today that will hopefully be able to illustrate some of my stuff better than I could, because I'm new at it, and maybe that's not a bad thing as far as Pat was saying, but
Mm-hmm.
you know it's interesting how much experimentation this kind of opens up as far as this world, I guess. So
Most people in a hobby are beginners. Probably.
yeah,
I don't know if that's really,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are beginners.
Yeah.
Some people don't make it past being a beginner. A lot of people do. Either they drop out or they just don't progress, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that as long as they're having fun.
Like in sporting goods, the most sold items are always the beginner items. Like beginner, I don't think beginner skateboards exist, but subs, for example, the pedal boards,
oh
SUPs.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
I guess standard or beginner is the most sold one.
Yeah,
And the really high end ones for racing. I mean, who buys a racing sub? Nobody.
Yep.
nobody. Well, Max, before before we end the podcast, I want to make sure I ask you one question since you brought it up. So how's your hydrofoil going?
Oh, the hydrofoil. We tested it last year, but I wasn't in the water. A friend of mine was, and it performed okay, but we didn't have enough thrust. So I bought a new propeller, and I'm gonna test that next year.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I didn't.
Progress.
You're surprised,
I was-
right? So we made some progress.
I was partially joking, but so you're still pursuing this project because I
Yes.
thought, okay, I thought it had grown to kind of scare you, which I understand, but
The funny thing is, my friend was testing his surfboard, and he had some weird issues. The motor was cutting out. It was like the motor was accelerating, and then it would stop for just a fraction of a second. You could hear it, but it would mess up the movement and the momentum. So he had to deal with some electrical issues, which is funny because he's the electrician.
well, I guess he was able to deal with it, right? So
I'm not sure. We're still waiting for spring.
nice. Oh yeah, I guess it's winter here as well, but it's just not really something I think about that much. I could go in Florida. It's not like we have snow here or anything.
But you could go swimming in the ocean?
I mean, you could. You'd be kind of cold.
Yeah, maybe you could, but I couldn't.
You can't swim, Pat?
Oh, I could swim. I know how to swim,
Okay.
but it's too
Pat, what
cold.
are you doing these days, apart from ice cream?
Apart from ice cream. Boy, I don't even know. How terrible is that? I pimp out the same thing on these podcasts all the time, and I don't have any of the parts here to show you. Maybe I have something. Can you see
It's a
little
cable
clippy
holder?
thing? A little
Oh
hook?
yeah, your
My
backpack hook,
thing.
right?
Yeah, I got this idea. I needed to put more stuff on my laptop bag, and I didn't have room. So I 3D printed these little hooks, and do you know how to sew, Max?
Yeah.
Oh, everybody knows how to sew, so maybe that's why nobody buys these. And it might also be because I don't advertise them. But I came up with this idea to poke holes in the book bag in my backpack and put M3 screws through. There's a back plate to go with this. And I tested one of these, and I lifted 60 pounds with this. And it didn't tear the backpack. It didn't, it doesn't need to hold 60 pounds, but I was curious. But poking the holes was real fiddly. I was doing it with a little part of the little awl on my Swiss Army knife to poke the hole, and then
Yeah.
well, I found these little M3 3mm leather punches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so then I designed a template with magnets on it, so you could put one on the inside of the book bag, one on the outside. They'll clip together, and you can hammer the two holes exactly spaced where they need to go, and then you can just. I have about 3 or 4 different doodads that you can attach to them. They're in my Tindy store, but I barely have. I haven't even written about them, or I just talk about them on the podcast every now and then.
Well, if you
Well,
make a
have
YouTube
you-
short about it, like, hey, are you a hiker and you wish you could strap some more stuff?
That's
I
the
got one of
voice I
these.
need.
Super easy to install.
I've been putting them on everything just because I need to test the new parts, so I just keep banging more holes and stuff. And
So have you sold any?
I've sold one, I think,
Okay.
maybe 2.
How much do they sell for?
Oh, too much.
Because it's a very small piece of plastic.
The old ones were carbon fiber plate. They were
wow.
very sturdy, the original ones. And I think I was selling those for like $8 or something for a set of all sorts of. I don't know what's in there. You can tell I'm good at this because I don't even know what's in there. But now that I know the 3D printed parts will hold 60 pounds, there's no reason to cut the carbon fiber pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully that'll go well. I mean, it can.
Well, it already went well, Jeremy,
Max said,
because I have them on my bag. I have one with a Velcro strap so I can attach. It's stupid what I needed to carry. I wanted to carry a PlayStation controller in my smallest laptop bag, but there's nowhere to put it inside. So I put a Velcro, like one of our drone battery straps, on the outside of my bag to strap there's a little controller just on the outside of my bag. But then I wound up carrying, if I take my laptop to the park, I strap my water bottle in there.
Okay. Very nice.
When I ride to the park.
Have you seen the Fireball tool channel? He's
Yes!
building this
That
cast,
giant table.
the vise. Yeah, the table and the vise. I think it's a silly product. Nobody needs a vise like that. You really don't.
But somebody wants a vise like that.
Yeah, by cranking out all these videos about it, he generates the demand and he can sell these.
Yeah.
So I think the videos are really good for selling any of this stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's correct. Because it's, think
People
about
don't even
like
know they have a problem.
That's the biggest problem with these. Like, what if nobody is even going to know? Nobody's going to say, boy, I can't attach this to, I don't have room for this in my book bag or my camera bag is really where I'm thinking. And nobody's going to say, well, I got to go to Google and ask how I can attach something to the outside of my bag. Nobody's even going to think of it. And there's no good term. There's not like some name I could give it where people will Google for it. It's fine. I'm not mad. Really. I'm excited that I have a PlayStation controller in my bag. That's all I needed.
Well, it sounds like it all ended up. It's a happy ending for you, Pat.
It is. I'm happy. I'm always happy, Jeremy. Maybe.
Good. Yeah. Same with me. Maybe. So same with us all. I'm sure. I guess that's probably we've been going at it for an hour or so. I guess that's probably a decent place to end it, right? Is there anything else you want to tell us about Max or Pat for that matter?
Max, he always calls me Max. He calls me Matt a lot. You can tell he wants to say Max. He misses you for sure.
I do. So, but no, it's Matt is a combination of Matt and Pack. Now I'm even. Anyway, well, thanks so much for coming on. Now, if somebody your business is, I believe, RV, or you call them. What do you call them?
Camping vans, camper vans.
Caravans.
You could call
them.
These hooks for your backpack. You could call them the pat on the back.
Ooh.
That is great.
Something like that.
I might do that.
Yeah, I like that. So, but if somebody did want to find you, where would they find you, Max?
YouTube, Max Maker.
Nice, very good.
And
what about you, Pat?
Me? Oh, I'm at patshead.com.
Nice.
What about, Jeremy, we're supposed to ask you. Oh, boy, I'm doing a bad job. Where can we find you, jeremyscook.com?
So, you can find me at jeremyscook.com, or, I've got the new YouTube channel, JCO Audio, or JCO Audio. I don't know. It kind of rhymes, so I thought that'd be good. You can check that out, and, so... And you can find me on the internet, generally.
We'll look for you there, Jeremy. I'll look.
All right, sounds good. Well, it's good. Great talking to you, Max, and great talking to you, Pat, as always. I'd wave by, but my camera's not working.
He's waving, even if you can't see him. He's for sure waving.
See you next time.